my suggestion is what I said earlier is do not lose your enthusiasm for the game. It's time for you to remember that life is a game and business is a game. And that doesn't mean that you're not taking it seriously. It means that if you take it too seriously, you're gonna get exhausted. Because when you think of a game, to be able to play a game, you have to understand the elements of the game. There are opponents. It's part of the game. You can't get frustrated when you go to the city and say, I'd like to rezone this, and the city planner or somebody says, no, this can't be rezoned. This is like a game. It's like an opponent. You can be mad at an opponent in the game and just start want to beat them up or fantasize about just eliminating them completely. No, it's part of the game. There are obstacles, challenges, and problems. And that's what makes the game interesting. And you know the goal, you know the rules, and you play within all that. When I get frustrated to a point where I feel stressed. Some people feel stress in their upper back. Some people feel stress in their lower back. Some people feel it in their knees. Some people have stomach issues. So the emotional anxiety is transformed into physical stress. So the worry starts in the mind. That's a mental thing, to worry. Then you have emotional anxiety, and then you have physical stress. If the game is getting so stressful and you have anxiety, it's time to step back and count your blessings. Here's what I got going. Okay, like I got frustrations. I give you an example with my portfolio in Puerto Rico, where they changed a small tax law, but it affects me on 30 buildings. That's just a huge impact. So then I step back and I say, well, here are the blessings. I have all these buildings. I bought them a long time ago and I keep improving them. There is potential to do other this and that with the Airbnb, potential to reduce costs with this other area, potential to do this. And when you count your blessings, you will relax, because it's very easy to feel what we focus on. So change your focus. They're grabbing your focus into the negativity, the partner that is causing you a problem. When I had a problem with a project manager many years ago in 2016, those have been with me a long time, you may remember, I sued him. Because I was very patient with it. For 6 months, I asked him to redo the numbers. He owed me money. I overpaid him by mistake on a package of properties, 32 million. I overpaid him by 291,000. And I said, you need to return the money. Here are the numbers. And he said, no, I worked so hard, but that's not the agreement. And I cannot just keep 291,000 with you. Well, what difference does it make for you? You're very rich and all this. And whether the problem is small or big, a problem is a problem. And you can get so obsessed and mentally paralyzed, it puts the brain in a glitch. So I step outside the problem and I say it's going to be a game. So I said, I'm going to sue him. Once I made the decision, I calmed down. When I decided to sue him in a certain way, like serve him on Christmas Day, the 24th, that Christmas Eve. Okay, so the 24th, the marshal's office wouldn't serve him on the 25th. They said nobody's working on Christmas. I don't know why. He who works prays, but they didn't go to that. We served him on the 24th in the morning. Why? So I can ruin his Christmas. And it went like this, and the whole lawsuit dragged for 3 years, because I told him if I sue, I will not settle. It's just going to be another story for me in my seminar business. And what happened is he countersued, and we went on and on and on for 3 years until we went to 2019, I believe it was October, when there was a jury. And I said, it's gonna be fun. Let's see what's gonna happen next when they call me in the deposition. And I would go, and my attorneys were so stressed. I remember my attorney, she's Irish originally, and I came in one day and she was all flushed red. And I said, are you okay? And she said, oh my God, they just did this, and I said to her, it's a game, don't worry, we're gonna play to have fun. She said, I play to win. I said, you will only win if you have fun, because you have to meet the game with the same level of enthusiasm whether you win or lose. Because if you do that, even if you lost once, the game is not over. You keep playing, and at the end it will all work out. And if it's not working out, it's not the end. And I have never in my life seen somebody totally flush red that you could see her color coming back as she relaxed. And she said, I've never had a client like you. And I said, I've never had a case like this. And that guy was an old friend. I considered him a friend. But it's time to play a different game with him. And that game is not going to be taught, it's going to be demonstrated. So my point to you is, count your blessing, play the game, stay enthusiastic, so you don't freak out and start discounting good assets, or get yourself out of the game. Because what's so important in the game of business is experience. As you gain experience, you don't want your past to be so traumatizing to you that you make in the present very bad decisions. You don't want to make instinctive decisions, because by instinct we default to what's defensive. I want to get out of the problem. You want to be intuitive. You want to be in the present moment and projecting the future. And that makes you strategize. You go from instinct of defense to intuitiveness of understanding the difference between the past and the present, and plan strategically for how can I exit, how can I reposition my assets, how can I make the most of what I have now. Maybe I have nothing but energy, maybe I have nothing but time, maybe I have nothing but connections, maybe I have nothing at all. But then what do I focus on that can get me to see what the next step will be? If you can't manage your brain, you're not going to be able to manage your emotions, and you're going to be physically stressed. So start with the mind. Start by writing the positive things, by writing the goals and plans, project yourself as accomplishing them. And I'm not a mind kind of guru kind of guy. I just know the game. And I know that if you stay focused on the positive and what you can do, you will play well. You will play with enthusiasm, and that will frustrate those who are trying to fight you. Because any problem paralyzes the attention units of the brain. They cannot think new thoughts. They can't consider other viewpoints. They are short-tempered at home and at work. And you don't want to be the person causing it for yourself. There is resistance in anything we do. If I try to push against this wall, there is resistance. Okay? But if I push and I have the power and energy, I'll break through. So you don't want the resistance to be internal, which is you resisting what you have to do. You want the resistance to be just the outside world and play it as a game, just like you're playing volleyball or soccer. Get the allies, choose your timing, strategize intelligently, and do the overwhelming force against the obstacles you have. You will win. Those are the elements of winning a war. Great timing, strategic intelligence, overwhelming power, an effort that's relentless, and powerful allies. With those four things that you line up, you will win. And what was a problem, instead of solving it, you will actually transform it to take it to your advantage. I know they're just words for you, but I live that. And I live it every time I have a challenge and a problem. And life is nothing but a series of these challenges. So if you don't learn how to play the game, you will fail not just in business, but at home. And you want success in both, because they feed off each other.